It's 2021, so that means it's an important year for very good athletes. Not me. I'm talking about the creme de creme, the best of the best, the closest we will ever get to people with superpowers. It's in an Olympic year, should have been 2020, but thanks to a certain virus that starts with a C and ends with a 19. And all of them are competing to represent their countries. Go USA. Me, being me, will be the majority of the average population and will be watching from the couch, being judgy, with no right to, except this time for the gymnastics Olympic trials, I shall be a spectator high above in the stands. Go USA! So bright and early in the morning, it was time to leave. I was ready. I even did my nails, a rarity, and put on something decent. Then, leaving the stuff that airports believe are tools for a terrorist attack, I headed out. The airport was not that busy, for only the crazy would be up at this hour. The sun was shining when we were on the plane, though, and of course we had to get there 3 hours early just to make sure that we were safe and on time.
Flight attendants on this morning's flight, and today I do have the pleasure of working with my friend Rob.
And with that, we were off. The ride was a bit bumpy. There were thunderstorms ahead, but we made it safely. Once we got past the airport, we took a train and on the way to the hotel we were. We were in the prime spot of St. Louis. This hotel looked like your average hotel, but fortunately for us, we got this excellent view of the great outdoors. To top it all off, we were on the 13th floor. The first thing we did once we were settled in was stare at the Great Arch. It was exactly as expected. Very tall, very archy. Hello, it is Malika here. It has been a week since the Olympic trials. I am now back at home. And for this next part, I just decided to show the gymnastics because they were so great and it's what they deserve, you know? They hardly get any recognition through NBC besides like Simone Biles because NBC just is absolute trash when it shows gymnastics. So here's a little appreciation post, even though hardly anyone will see it, but it's the thought that counts, right? So here we go. And that was it basically for night one. So we headed home and I watched Phantom of the Opera, a classic movie that I absolutely love. Then we were on to day two after sleepy time. I started the day with some delicious French toast and strawberries, you know, the breakfast of champions. Very healthy, very tasty, delicious. Can't stop talking about how good it was. So the gymnastics didn't start until about 1 p.m., so we had lots of time to spare. So we decided to hail a taxi and take it to the zoo. Except for when we got to the zoo, we found out you have to have reservations. So the next part is just of us walking around this park. It was a very nice park, I would like to add. All right. Yeah. Would totally not want to get caught here in the middle of the night. Might be very sketchy. But in the daytime, it was a very beautiful place to be. The wind and the weather were doing great. They were not bothering us that much. And there was a lot to see. There was a cool fountain, and it wasn't very busy, surprisingly, that day. There were a lot of stairs. That I was not a fan of. A lot of climbing, lots of flights. Did not appreciate. My legs the next day, did not appreciate. But besides that fact, I highly recommend this park, especially if you little kids, you know, little gremlins you want to take care of, just drop them off at the park. We did get lost a little bit trying to make our way to the train because it was on the complete opposite end of the park that we were at, and it was very hot and sticky, so that part was not a fun walk. Did end up making our way to the train, and it was a nice break from all the walking and the stairs to sit in the AC. The next few clips will show you how sweaty I really am, because unfortunately I decided to wear gray for some reason. I don't know. Go USA! And we were back for the men's gymnastics. Tonight they were going to name the team. Now men compete 6 events instead of 4, and it's vault, pommel horse, high bar, floor, rings, and parallel bars. Now, there's a whole book on how to choose the Olympic team, but basically the first place gets an automatic spot, and a coordinator picks the rest, but I don't know why they bothered, because they just went down the list of all around with Alec Yoder as the specialist. Besides that, here's some more gymnastics. How many men does it take to carry a beam? After the competition, it was time to refuel, and what is better fuel than pink strawberry lemonade? And that marked the end of the day, so we took a lift back home, which is the first I've ever used one of those because I come from the sticks. It was the final day of competition, and we decided to eat at this taco place for breakfast. And after that, we headed down onto a little ferry and had a tour there. And once again, I got to see the arch. It looked exactly the same as the last time I saw it, except for this time the weather was a little nicer. Okay, listen, I know I just said it was a nice day, but it was still very hot and sticky and humid, and my hair was just not having it. But it did give us an excuse to eat some frozen yogurt. So all was well in the end. Alright, that was about it for this trip. The Olympic team, there were 4 spots, and they ended up going to Grace McCallum, Sunisa Lee, Jordan Childs, and Simone Biles. And the 2 specialist spots were Jade Carey and Michaela Skinner. Now, there was a lot of controversy. A lot of people weren't happy with the team, but I think it's fine. Everyone did great. They all did their best, and at the end of the day, everyone works, I feel like, as hard, and they're all deserving of their spot. They surprisingly only picked 4 alternates when they could have picked 5. And the alternates were Kayla DiCello, Emma Malaboyo, Leanne Wong, and Kara Eaker. So congrats to them as well, because I could not imagine doing what they do. So after that, we just flew home, and yes, one person did clap when the plane landed.